But before we wrap up this edition of the Rock News Roundup podcast, I want to get to my tracks of the week. Every week here on the podcast, I talk about 3 or 4 different tracks that I'm listening to right now that I want to recommend to you, the listener. So my tracks of the week for this week include some really new, fresh stuff. I want to talk about Foo Fighters and their new song called Today's Song. It's hard to believe, but Foo Fighters are celebrating 30 years of being a band. It's actually been 30 years this past weekend of the release of the debut Foo Fighters album that came out in 1995, which Dave Grohl played all the instruments on. It's like the start of the Foo Fighters, songs like This Is a Call and Big Me, Alone and Easy Target, Floaty, Weenie Bee, Good Grief, For All the Cows, an amazing album. But the Foo Fighters celebrated their 30th anniversary by releasing a brand new song called Today's Song, and I think it's a pretty solid track. I don't think it's maybe the best Foo Fighters song, and maybe not as strong as some of the tracks that we got on their most recent studio album, But Here We Are, which came out back in 2023. But it's a cool song. It starts kind of soft with Dave Grohl singing his thing, and then it picks up real good and ends up rocking quite a bit by the end, featuring Dave Grohl on drums. Same as we were talking about with Matt Cameron earlier on. We still don't know who's going to be taking over the drum kit for Foo Fighters when it comes to live shows. They have some live shows booked in Asia for the fall. So I'm sure we're going to be hearing who's taking over for the live side of the drums for Foo Fighters. But for this particular song, Dave Grohl plays the drums. And I really think like it kind of feels like with Foo Fighters, like there was only 2 drummers who could ever play on a Foo Fighters track, and that would be Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins, rest in peace. So I'm a big Foo Fighters fan. So today's song is one of my picks for my tracks of the week. And then my second track of the week is courtesy of California rockers Wavves. They just released their new album called Spun, and my pick for the week is the title track from Spun. Wavves have been one of my favorite California stoner rock bands for a long time. They're actually celebrating an anniversary as well. 15 years of their album King of the Beach, which came out in 2010, which is the album that got me into Wavves. So this is their new record. It's their 9th studio record. Wavves is led by singer and songwriter Nathan Williams, who really is he's a great songwriter, he's a great musician, and this has some amazing hooks on this record. It's just what you expect from Wavves. The music is propulsive, it rocks. It's got like a punk rock feel to it, a California rock to it, feel to it, like a beach rock vibe to it. And this song and this album has some of their biggest hooks that they've had in their career. So really cool record. And when it comes to cool bands or like bands doing cool things, I feel like Wavves has done a lot of really cool things. The band has their own radio station in Grand Theft Auto 5, which if you've ever listened to that, that's in there as well. Vinewood Boulevard Radio, which is always my favorite radio station to listen to when I'm playing GTA 5. They're indie entrepreneurs, and they have their own weed brand. Wavves has always been associated with weed and smoking weed, but they have their own weed brand. I don't think it's available in Canada. I've never tried it myself, but it's available California and other parts of the world. So in addition to being amazing musicians and releasing kick-ass music, they're also indie entrepreneurs. So Wavves and Spun is one of my tracks of the week. So I highly recommend that. And then finally, my final track of the week is courtesy of Bilmuri, not the actor. I'm talking about the musician of the band, Bilmuri, Bilmuri, and their new song called More Than Hate. This is Johnny Frank's band. I've been getting really hard into Bilmuri's discography. I'd actually never really listened to Bilmuri. Was not really super familiar with his music or anything like that until they popped up on my Spotify. Really started getting into their most recent album, American Motorsports. And I love with Bilmuri, I love just the mix of pop and country and metal, some killer melodies in there. I don't really think it's for everybody. I don't really think everybody enjoys the mashing of those genres, but I think that Bilmuri does it really well. But with this song, with More Than Hate, it's more of a traditional, just kind of straight ahead metal song. Obviously, Johnny Frank's vocals are very melodic, but there's some good screams in there, some good grunts, and some really nice down-tuned riffs in here as well. So super heavy stuff. I feel like Bilmuri is already becoming one of my favorite bands of the year. I love discovering new music, and I was really glad to discover Bilmuri. So I recommend the latest album, American Motorsports, with songs like Empty Handed and Better Hell and Bout a Cashew and The End. It's a really great record. But he just released a brand new single called More Than Hate, and that is my last recommendation for my tracks of the week.